here is part 5 of my series for the January 2022 card kit of the month called Truly, Madly, and Deeply. I had to make a few cards with the puppies and the puppy paper because they're just darling. So on my first card, I just used a strip of pattern paper that had the dogs and a strip of polka dot paper from another card. And I'm just going to make a little bit of a panel here. This card design I tend to use a lot because when I craft, I have a lot of my cards using 4 by 5 1/4 for the pattern paper, and that leaves me with a strip like the dogs here that won't fill up a whole card, but it's still large enough of a scrap to kind of be the main interest on the card. So I'm adhering it here, and I usually do this trimming after I stick it onto the card, just so it doesn't come up short. And I've taken another scrap of the dog pattern paper, and I'm just going to use some of my liquid adhesive to add that to the inside of the card. And I'm also going to use this chipboard sticker with the dog on a bike. And again, when I use the chipboard stickers, I usually add glue just because they're not extremely sticky. And I used a piece of scrap of my pink paper, pink cardstock, and used the die from the kit of the inside of the tag. And I just wanted to put it behind this little frame for interest and whatnot. I do think it's interesting that the Spellbinders company spells favorite not the American way. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but it has the OU at the end, which I think is funny because I'm pretty sure Spellbinders is out of Arizona, but whatever. So we're going to put it on our card. And next I'm going to add this poodle into the middle. So much attitude from the poodle. It's hilarious. Then I'm going to add on a sentiment that says all the feels. And that's also a chipboard sticker. And the little dog with the bow tie. That's just a regular die cut ephemera from the ephemera pack. And I also made a bow with some string that I bought from Dollar Tree, I'm pretty sure. I thought it would look nice to kind of frame that poodle and bring in some yellow. I typically adhere the embellishments in odd numbers. So I felt that this card needed a little bit more than 3, so I'm going with 5. And of course, those are the sequins from the card kit. So I'm going to just adhere those on. Sometimes the sequins and jewel picker and glue tip kind of give me a run for my money. And they just don't always want to go where I want them to go. I do like the nice thing about the liquid adhesive is it will give you time to move things around if you need to, but it does dry fairly quickly. Now, I loved this dog paper, so I did make more than just this card. I made another one. So if you were to take this piece of dog pattern paper and the one that I just used, that would make the 6x6 pattern paper with the 2 scraps that I put in the inside as well. So I really try to use all the paper that is possible. And I always open my cards like that just to make sure that I'm not putting my card base on backwards and having the card open on the left. But if you ever do that, you can do a few things. First, you could take your paper cutter and just chop off the front of your card and just glue the whole thing onto another card base. Or you could leave it backwards and your recipient might have, a bit of a little laugh about it because it's kind of funny that it's backwards. I don't know. Or you could, try moving the paper if it's possible, but don't have very good luck with that because usually the adhesives are pretty strong. So usually end up with bent paper and ripped paper at that point. So typically I just chop off the front and glue it onto another card. So with this card, I did use the die from the kit, which was with the star paper there. And I did take a scrap of the pink and used a larger, but longer tag die to make a tag that goes behind the white and the stars. Then I used some scrap blue paper from the kit to make the little banner that goes across the tag. And I did use a little bit of pink cardstock on the bottom to create somewhat of a ground for the puppies that I'm about to put on the bottom. And I wanted it to be pretty thin, so I just used a little strip. Usually I'll use my scissors and create kind of like a hill, but the straight kind of worked for me because there was all these straight lines from the tags above. And I loved how the kit came with little paw prints because it works so well with the little dogs. And these little foam squares work really well on something like this because you do need several squares to kind of pop it up a little bit. So here I'm going to use some foam and pop up the poodle. I think I know exactly who I'm going to give this card to. I love when that happens and I'm making the card and I'm thinking of one person and thinking, wow, this is going to them and they will love it. It's always nice. I still think that poodle is just funny with those little poofy legs and poofy tail. I'm not sure why the foam release paper changed colors from yellow to like a brown color, but it does seem to be the same foam, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to add a little extra adhesive there because it kind of was flying up a little too much, but problem resolved. And with this card, I did make a sister design. The only difference is I added that chipboard sticker that says smooches there, and the dog was the one that was a chipboard dog with the heart eyes. So I tried to get all the use I could out of that little dog paper. with the video, I decided to do another card first, so I'm going to pull that one over. This was probably one of my favorite cards from my creations because I just liked that it was pretty bold with those big flowers, and I love the gold foiling on the flowers. So first I took a piece of cardstock that was like a cream shade and adhered that to the card base, and then put the floral pattern paper over. And then with this pink panel, I did leave a bigger edge around the panel because I wanted to see that pattern paper just a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch. So it's about 1/4 of an inch around. And I used the blue paper from the kit, the cardstock, and the tag, and created another tag, and I'm just gonna stick the sentiment right over the hole and put it directly onto the pink panel. I love the little dots around the edge. It really gives a nice border. And with this big bold flower, or flowers, I believe there's 3 on there, I'm just going to use some foam adhesive to give the flowers a bit of dimension. And I probably could have cut that big piece up, but oh well. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's quite sticky, but you can move it around. Then I'm going to add a small sentiment that says you and me, and it's kind of a little arrow shape similar to the tag, even though you can't see the end of the tag up front or on the card, but that's okay. And I'm going to add a chipboard sticker with the heart and the gold up at the top. Then I'm going to put 3 of the sequins from the kit onto my card. I didn't use the sequins with this card kit to make any shaker cards, but looking at February's card kit, there are a lot of frames. I think there will be 9 frames in that card kit, and I'm already planning a lot of shaker cards with that card kit. So if you're interested in watching me make some shaker cards, then maybe look out for those videos. Looks like I only put 2 sequins on this card. Must have been because I thought that heart would be 1, 2, 3, so either way. And I did make 2 of these cards. Pretty simple to make 2 of this one. Then this was my last card for the video. I did already adhere the yellow cream cardstock, and I adhered the green cardstock to the card. And I used just a simple circle die to cut out a circle because I wanted something to make my sentiment there kind of stand out, because it was kind of like cream on beige on white, and I didn't really think that it would stand out enough. So I pulled in that green paper And I think it went really well with the pattern paper and the flowers from that bouquet there. And since I'm going to put that circle almost over where I cut it out, the flatness of the card, or I'm not sure how to explain it, but like the card won't dip down because that circle came out of that hole. Then I adhered the bouquet behind the flower. I didn't want it to be sticking out too much. Just wanted a little extra flower there. And adding some glue to the chipboard sentiment and centering it on the circle. Then I used my Tool-in-One from Spellbinders to pick out the inside of the O's. And I love this little gold accent XOXO. I wish I could have had that for multiple cards because I love how it's small, but it's pretty bold with that glitter foam sticker. And that is my last card. I did not make a double of this card because I did not have another XOXO, and I did not have another chipboard sentiment. Here are all the cards that I made for this video. This is part 5. I will have one more part coming up on my YouTube channel fairly soon. So check back for part 6. Thanks for watching.